Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, joining you on a Saturday, April 2nd. Taking a look, and we saw in the opening changes, they're taking the tarps off the turf courses, and they're looking pretty good, huh?
They are. The inner turf courses where the tarps started to be taken off, they started at around the 7/16, 3/8 pole, and they're all the way through the stretch.
This is like the tarp version of a weather
report. Yeah. But it looks great. It's great.
You're looking sharp today, by
Thanks.
the way. You're looking good.
Good, I feel good.
Yeah,
Big Saturday. A couple of big Saturdays in a row coming up. With Memorial next weekend.
Hopefully I won't have a head cold next Saturday.
Yes.
I'll be fine.
I'll
survive.
You're a battler. It's not like you're.
Don't give me that much.
It's not like your pitching shoulder is going to keep you out until the All-Star break.
My pitching shoulder would keep me out if I had one, but anyhow.
The other guy got the hamstring.
What are you going to do? Anyway, head over to Naira Bets. If you're not it's not even baseball season hasn't even started yet. You're complaining about the Mets. Stop. You know what? You'll have plenty of time to complain about the Mets. Okay, let's settle.
Louis Stiles is asking, why did this happen before the season started?
Whatever. Use the promo code STAKES200. Sign up for Naira Bets. Become a member of Naira Bets. Support racing in New York and keep the money in the game. We'll match for $200 of your initial deposit. Lots of good stuff going on today. Bankroll Builder, the penultimate Bankroll Builder. Oh no. First, we'll get the $25 bonus if you bet 75 on Aqueduct, Oaklawn, and Gulfstream. Of course, the Arkansas Derby, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Gulfstream has the Florida Derby. They've already run 2 of their 436 races today. Anyway, Oaklawn started momentarily, I think. Derby Bankroll Builder, bet 50 or more to win on the Florida Derby, not the
Florida Derby.
Oh, okay. Who do you like there? I
like Classic Causeway.
Oh, right. You told us yesterday. That's right. I don't like Classic Causeway, but I didn't really look. You look much more than I did. I'm just not as big a fan. We'll get $25 for Derby weekend. We also have, I believe, a cross-country pick 5 is about to sneak up on us. Yes, we're 4 stakes at Oaklawn. They're 5, 9, 10, and 12, and our 8th, the Excelsior. Second leg. That'll start in race 5 and go through race 12. So we'll start pretty early. It'll start around 3:30 and it'll end around midnight.
3:19.
3:19 and it ends around 7:50 or something like that. Anyhow.
And don't forget, Andy.
We got a pick 6 carryover, $39,862. Starts in race number 4. Today's card. And finally, last but certainly not least, we got a lot of America's Day at the races today. FS2 from 1:30 to 4. FS1 from 4 to 8:30. You'll be on from around 3:30 to 6. I'll be on all of the other times. I'll start out with Rick Schosberg. And
That'll be fun.
With Greg and get the crew down at Oaklawn as well. Race number uno
Before I just want to remind everybody, there are tip sheets up for Oaklawn and Gulfstream. We have a cross-country pick 5 ticket
on NairaBets.com.
All at NairaBets.com, yes. So there you go.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Race number 1. Well, unless you want to take the horse that ran on turf first time, Dame Dorothy, who does have more dirt pedigree, but a bad sign they ran that one on the turf, but anything's possible. And it is certainly a dirt family, and a half the spice is nice, the 5. You're going to go to probably the 2 or 3 in this race. I went to the likely favorite, the number 2, Montauk Point. I know the horse had 2 chances, but in reality, we'll take a look at the last effort down at Gulfstream Park, a 3rd place finish for Montauk Point. At the end of the day, the horse ran well going along. Should be reasonably forwardly placed in a race that, at least on paper, doesn't have much speed. And I'm just going to go for the more logical of the 2. But the 2 and 3 seem to be the ways most people will go. I know they're betting on the 5 now, but it's a little early.
Yeah, still early, and that'll, in all likelihood, change.
Yeah, lost to a couple of okay horses.
Yeah,
Bill Mott, in fact, beat this horse both times.
No real knock on Montauk Point. I just wanted the horse to be a little bit better of a price. Strapped was a tip first time out.
Well, hang on a second. Hang on. Let's just finish with this horse.
Okay.
This horse has faced a lot of good horses and taken money in all the starts, Montauk Point. You say Strap was a tip first time. That was a problem, and this is something and you mentioned quite a bit. You say his horse was a tip first time. This horse didn't take a nickel.
Well, it's funny.
There was another Todd Pletcher horse in the race that got bet off the board.
Right.
That didn't do any running either.
Didn't do any running. Now, I thought this horse did do some running late in the game. I thought this horse, sometimes these tips will come in and they'll be like, oh, this horse got a lot of talent, this horse is going to be okay. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to run well or win first time out. And I thought that was the case with this horse. I thought this horse.
This wasn't the tipped one of the
I had to push on this horse and not the other horse.
Okay.
And I thought this horse ran better at 3 times the price of the other one. I don't know how well the horse ran, but it certainly looked like...
I ran better going to the subway.
It certainly looked like he's going to... You probably run better than most of these horses going to the subway every night. You move as fast as I've ever seen somebody move when you have to get to your train.
You don't want to miss the train.
I think this horse is going to improve in a big way second time.
Better.
I'm hoping he does. He gets a pair of blinkers. You would imagine Buster's Ready won the Mother Goose. You would imagine some more distance is going to be helpful to this horse, the start under his belt, and I'm going to take him at the better price.
He does come out of a race where the pace held together and a day where pace is held together. Actualize did not run well yesterday, for whatever that's worth. Todd Pletcher's numbers stretching out maidens in the dirt are just fair. The win percentage is fairly high. The ROI is low, suggesting they're basically overbet. Second-time starters, they win at a high percentage, lower ROI. We'll see. The numbers at Naira are a little bit lower even than they are in general because he does win so often down at Gulfstream. I'm not against Strapped. He's the other horse here, and I agree with you that I would prefer this one to the 5 Principe Doro, who has nothing but dirt pedigree. And I know Todd's numbers going turf to dirt, second-time starters and such, they're not awful, but I don't know. Mostly they're better on off the turf races.
And this horse was tipped.
Well, thank God,
off the board.
I bet the winner paid $87.
We talked about this.
Right.
Yes, this was one of the more ridiculous tips, and it has to worry you. I know the horse is 2-1 right now. I kind of thought there was a chance this horse would be the second choice, even though you and I kind of saw the race the same, that this was between the 2 and the 3. But the fact that this horse debuted on the turf and not on the dirt with her pedigree
down in Florida
has to lead you to believe that this horse has a problem with the dirt. I mean,
or maybe this horse may have a problem with
being able to
being
run
quick enough to beat it.
I could not agree more.
It is the right surface based on the pedigree, but I'm going to take that with that pedigree first time on the grass. It's one thing to run a grass pedigree first time on the grass. This is a strong dirt pedigree.
Yeah.
Dame Dorothy, a Grade 1 winner for owner Bobby Flay. And
7
Todd
for
Pletcher.
12, all on the dirt. I mean, mostly in stakes competition. It makes no sense.
Dame Dorothy also was one of the horses on the list. You know what list that Dame Dorothy is on?
She's on the Aqueduct, not the Aqueduct list?
She's on a list of horses that broke their maiden on Cigar Mile Day that went on
Cigar
to win
Mile,
Grade
that's what I
1s.
meant. Cigar Mile,
Race number 2, because I know my friend Anthony Stabile so well in race number 2, I put up the best bet against. I thought one of the good bet against in today's card as the top as the video, because I knew you couldn't resist your boy Wayne Potts.
I don't know why I'm supposed to take heed about this horse.
Well, where did this horse's last race come from? Because this one's on the list, right? Speaking of the list.
Here's what okay. The horses are running better. He's also doing the right thing. He's running the horse.
Better.
The horse broke the maiden for the
like
bottom.
Saying someone who grew a foot in 8th grade is growing.
You can't cut in half.
Show the video.
Because we don't allow to cut in half. It doesn't. So he run the horse for the bottom. This horse is going to be the controlling speed from the inside draw.
Really? You don't think the 2 or 3 could show some speed here?
I think the kid's just going to go. Why wouldn't you just go?
Okay.
It worked last time.
Okay.
Just go.
Okay.
I mean, if I have to worry about Jerusalem Gates, who hasn't won in a year and a half, and it was at Parks, and is just consistently dropped through the claiming ranks. Mr. Fidget, 1 for 32. I'm going to ride the wave. I'm going to ride the hot barn. I'm going to ride the horse that's more forward than all of these other horses. And who's not?
His horses are outrunning their PPs on a consistent basis.
The amazing thing is, he's not going to be favored. Jerusalem Gates is going to be the favorite in this race. I guess he can win.
Not sure he will be. Not certain he will be.
Okay.
No.
I would imagine he's the favorite.
I think it's going to be very close between he and the 1.
Maybe
People
you're
aren't going to be able to resist that 7-length win, and the trainer's horses are running off the screen in a race. I get it with Jerusalem Gates. He's a better horse than the 1. He's an actual horse. I mean, he's actually run a consistent amount of times in his career, as opposed to a horse who sort of miraculously improved along with most of the barn in recent efforts. I get it. I hear you. I wouldn't bet on the 1. I don't want any part of him. But I suppose he could win this race. I won't be surprised if he wins. He's just a horse I'm never, ever going to bet on. I'm just going to bet against these horses that, out of the clear blue sky, go from being completely uncompetitive. And this is a horse that was in Todd Pletcher's barn, don't forget. Don't see a lot of those turnarounds.
He's also a horse that caught 3 wet tracks.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it just hates a wet track.
Got back to a fast track, and in his first race he ran against Core Conviction and Waxman.
I'm sure he just hates a wet track. I'm sure that's what it was. What was the reason for the other 15 horses that ran 10 lengths faster in the subsequent
You're
starts?
asking me for an opinion.
Well, that's a different discussion.
The horse ran a 65 for Todd Pletcher on the dirt, on a fast dirt. He ran the same figure.
And then Todd, after running a 65 first time, he dropped him in for 20. For 20.
That's my point.
Okay. Listen, at least we don't have to figure out how the last winner yesterday ran a 96 by.
You know, I'm gonna say something about this because you've brought it up a few times. You're acting like they're taking these horses for 12 and running them for 75. Because
It doesn't matter what level they're running them
no,
for.
it does.
It
It
does.
does. You brought up a name the other day. You brought up Oscar Barrera. Oscar would claim horses for 8. And they'd be in for 75,000
I don't think we had 8.
weeks
I think
later.
14 was the
10,
bottom
12,
back then.
whatever it was.
14 was the bottom.
He'd claim them for the bottom.
Okay.
And they'd run for 75,000 3 weeks later and run 9 and 2 and win by 5.
We're seeing an enormous amount of gigantic improvements from 2 barns right now. Rudy Rodriguez claimed the last winner stay 2 back. The horse, a consistent 60 buyer, ran a 73 buyer, ran a 96 buyer yesterday. It's one thing to improve one horse. They're all running better. It is what it is, a fact. Wayne Potts has had an enormous number of horses that have improved 15 to 20 buyer points.
I am
sort
not
of out of the blue.
saying they're not
Isolated
running,
one
I'm
makes
not saying
sense.
they're not running better. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, they're
But what I'm
running.
saying is, this horse ran a 65 first time out on a fast track.
Okay.
He caught 3 wet tracks. He got back to a fast track. He ran for the bottom level claimer on March 19th.
You rely on wet tracks. I don't. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe he just hates a wet track. I don't know what the reason for all the others was, but maybe this one did hate a wet track. I just feel like horses like the 5 and 6 are just more reliable, better horses. On the other hand, the 5 is 1 for 32, and the 6 is 1 for 11 with 4 seconds. So you're not wrong about that. You are taking a horse that, at least coming off a win against a bunch of horses, have had plenty of chances. Many of them, especially with Jerusalem Gates.
And you know what,
it's
important. I'm going to lean with speed. He's going to be in front of those 2 horses.
Well, you also lean with Hot Barns.
I absolutely.
Which I'm
no
not.
question
It is
about
what it is. I'm not being critical. It's a
no
fact.
question about it. But I mean, if I see a horse that's got speed, I'm going to take him 98% of the time over a horse that's going to come
That's a
off
good
the pace.
segue to race number 3, because you've taken the horse with speed in race number 3, Raffinity.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, I think Raffinity, as we go to race number 3, comes out of a day where the rail was a distinct advantage, and that was a race that was crying out for somebody to be second, and it might as well be the speed. Now, she improved a lot, too, off the claim for Rob Falcone, who's been having a very strong year, especially earlier in the meet. Having said that, I think that her race last time was very much circumstance. But you like speed, and she is the speed, at least on paper.
Yeah, I like speed. She's the speed on paper. Like you said, she improved. She ran the best race of her life off the claim for Rob. And I would just imagine she's going to be able to get in front and control. The other horse I would want in here is the horse you put on top. To me, I see if I'm Fine's really going to be the favorite in here.
I wouldn't want to have made the morning line in this race.
I wouldn't have either. I wouldn't have either. And listen,
I
there's
would
a
have been
real
wrong
chance.
about what I did.
There's a real chance I'm Fine's going to be the favorite in here.
Yeah.
But she's also going to be the favorite off form.
You've finally given up on her. You finally had enough of her. Well, she's an unusual horse that you picked a lot because you do like speed horses, and for good reason. And you're smart to. I mean, I don't mean that in any way. Is not. And this horse you kept picking, and she's got no speed.
She's slower than me for the first quarter of a mile.
She is a slow.
She's slow.
She's a little faster for Joe, but I agree, she's slow.
Yeah, you know, and now the blinker. They tried Joe's Sharps had her for 3 starts. He put the blinkers on. He finally takes the blinkers off.
Last race was awful.
Awful.
I know there were better
off the
horses.
last
She
race.
was
It's impossible to
awful.
better off the last race. Now maybe she does a 1-2 turn. She gets back to the 1 turn. That could help her running style. But I mean, she just didn't run 2 steps last time. And if she's going to be favored in a race where
I thought Girl of Toscanova would be favored.
I do. I mean, I think Raffinity will be the 3rd choice. I think a lot of people are going to say, Shalimar Gardens was 1 to 5.
Yeah,
She
I'm
sucked
not
up
sure.
second.
Yeah, I don't think. No, I think you're acting like she didn't suck up second. She was the speed. She didn't suck up at all.
No, I don't think. I don't believe she did. I think a lot
But
of
she didn't
people
know
are
was going to say she sucked up. She was the lead.
Yeah, she finished second, but
A lot of patterns going on there.
that haircut.
A lot of patterns there.
A lot going on.
I just think Girl of Toscanova is in good form. I actually think the race she was in last time wasn't a bad race at all.
Not at all. She's in fantastic form.
The Zepedin campaign came back against much tougher and ran. Oh, here she is. Look at that. It's like the magic of
She's like
TV.
you wiggle your nose and she's on the tube.
Were you a big Bewitched fan or before your time?
Before my time. I've seen it,
Which
obviously.
is a great show.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I love that show. You know, she's going to be better tactically placed in this race, and I just think she's in good form for Charlie Baker. Another trainer is having a good meet.
Yeah, she came back from the layoff. She's.
I just thought she was super logical in here.
Yeah, she's the other one I want.
I think she's going to be. I mean, I'm not.
But you wouldn't stake your life to it.
I mean,
but
why wouldn't she be favored over a horse that has better recent form? Then I'm fine. Listen, I'm not criticizing the morning line makers. It's a very, very hard race to make a line.
This is a tough
because
race.
they also could go for Affinity. They could see what you see. She's the speed, and she ran a big race off the claim for Rob Falcone. So I don't think it's unreasonable that she could be favored. It's hard to make anyone else there, I did have the Freddie Mo factor because I'm
You
friends
love
with Freddie
Freddie
Mo.
Mo. Yeah.
I'm having lunch with Freddie Mo this week. Don't be jealous. Big lunch with Freddie. You got to move fast to pick up the check when you're with Freddie. Race number 4. I tried Cousin Christie in race number 4. I tried. I failed. Hey.
They're on their game. Wow.
They are really on their game.
Look at that.
What a crack staff. 39,862.
Do you have a cousin Christie, Andy?
I don't think so. Do you?
No, not even close.
You know, it's funny. This wasn't hit. And you and I were texting while I was in the air yesterday. Those pick 5s yesterday were unbelievable.
Insanity.
Unbelievable. The parlay was was like $60.50 somewhere, maybe even
Small,
less.
small,
Going
like
to last race.
700.
It was paying like 800 and 900, roughly high 7s and high 8s with the 2 favorites in the last race. Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think beating Maram horse, that was probably bigger than 6-1, but even so, crazy playoffs. How about Manny Franco, by the way? How about an Eric Cancel on the first time started on the 4th race? He literally fell off the horse coming out of the gate. Eric Cancel actually helped him get back on. I mean, that was not only incredible feats of strength and agility, but also I really think what we saw, and if you haven't seen the head-on of the 4th race yesterday, you really should watch it. Eric basically arguably saving Manny from what could have been a very, very, very dicey situation. And it shows, I think, the camaraderie between these guys. And that was an incredible sequence. I mean, really need to watch if you haven't seen it. And I think one of the most touching parts of it, because it was really sort of incredible sportsmanship, was that going to Twitter and right away people were criticizing the riders. That was my favorite part of it. You know, you can always feel that in a situation you can go to social media and find people saying idiotic things that are completely off point.
When I was reading some of the stuff, I was just you chuckle.
Unbelievable
Just
how
chalk
sick
it up to
people are.
stupidity and
move
forward.
We're not excluding ourselves from the group of sick people, but
we fire away at these guys and gals all the time. But I mean, that was
have a little bit of as my friend Freddie Mo likes to say, have a heart. So Liberty Flame. I mean,
what are you supposed to do now, right?
We'll get to True Empress in a second.
What am I going to do now, huh?
I mean, I know this horse ran very well first time out. Cupid's Heart looked pretty good. Didn't get the best of trips second time out. Didn't run badly. I don't think we've seen her since.
They beat the rest of them by a long way.
It was also a race where the pace kind of fell apart. I mean, I don't know. What aren't you supposed to like about this horse?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, my friend. Yeah, I mean.
Isn't that a song? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got two first-time
couple
starters.
Of firsts that you don't know.
4-year-olds without much pedigree.
She's supposed to out-hoof these early too, right? I mean, I guess Steppenhawk has a little speed, but
she's faster.
I don't know. She's faster.
She just seems. I mean, listen. We'll take a look at True Hawk's last race.
Guys, that's supposed to be 6'4", 5".
Well, first of all, it's supposed to be 6'4" something because the 5 is scratched.
6'4", 2'1".
You know, they'd been doing such a good job, and you were being so nice about it. They figured they'd play around. You know, I didn't even notice it.
I noticed it.
Here's True Empress.
Because if True Empress is actually going to be the favorite in here, I would very much like to bet against True Empress.
Okay. If this morning line is True Empress favored, this morning line is wrong.
8-5, True Empress, 2-1, Liberty Flame. Those are your morning lines.
It's hard to imagine that Liberty Flame won't be favored. Listen, it's not that True Empress is impossible, and she obviously can win this race, but she's had so many chances. And the other thing is, if you want to be, and I'm not blaming Eric in any way, if you want to say, oh, maybe she moved that much too soon, the race did sort of fall apart.
Yeah.
I don't, Eric moved when he moved her. I don't think he did anything wrong at all. I'm just a little tired of her. The other one's just a more likely winner. I mean, she's obviously the second likeliest winner.
Right.
I got nothing else to say.
No, I don't either.
All right.
I don't. The first is not much.
So what'd you go here? 6-4?
6-4-2-1.
I was 6-4-3-2. All right, we'll move on to race number 5. I look forward to seeing what funny picks they put up for Anthony here. You know what? You'll be doing Anthony a favor in race number 5 if you make new picks for him.
Here we go.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm the idiot. I'm the idiot. This horse has no chance. I'm the idiot that keeps picking this horse, not you. I'm the idiot that picks her, not you. You've adopted my idiocy. I did pick her when she won, so I do want to take some credit for that. But I also picked her last time when her last race was pathetic, Anthony. You do realize that, right?
Well, it wasn't the best race. She was completely against the track, two back. See, here's the interesting thing.
Okay, that's why I liked her last time. But
the interesting thing for me is the Lasix going away. I'm not going to hold the first race.
She didn't have Lasix the last 2 races.
I know, but the first race she was against the track and had no chance. And then the last race she improved 16 points.
Well, because she was against the track and she wasn't against the track last time, so of course she improved a lot.
Right.
I mean but she didn't improve enough to win this race.
Who?
Well, I mean, Sabrine is way the horse to beat. And I'll tell you something about Sabrine.
Hold on a second. Sabrine is way the horse to beat.
Oh yeah,
way.
Of course. I'm sorry. Would somebody like to stop in and tell me that she's not?
Okay, so this is the question I would have for you.
Why is she not way the horse to beat?
So she has one fig, and Stormy Cat Lady has
Well,
one fig.
I'm going to tell you something. That fig 2 back is too low.
Forget about that fig.
That fig back is 20 points low.
Give her 20 points. Fine. All right, fine.
But what's wrong with this race?
There's nothing wrong with the race. There's nothing wrong with the race, but to tell me she's way the horse to beat in this field, I think is preposterous.
Okay. Oh, okay. No, that's, you know what? You're right. You know what?
This is a tough bunch to say somebody's way the horse to beat.
Wait a second. Please don't use the word tough bunch, the phrase tough bunch to describe this film. Please never again use that.
Can I say rough? Rough.
Yeah, change a letter.
I'm going to change the T to the L. It's like Wordle. Yeah, I'm going to change it to an R, please. I get it on second try. Rough.
You know, the words in Wordle where it can be any number of 4 or 5 letters in the beginning.
Very annoying.
I mean,
it's a guessing game at that point.
No, what you do is you have to get there.
Shovel
with enough
shore.
things.
I mean, you got to.
No,
you
do what the golfer does. You have the putt to get close. You use the word with 3 letters to figure out they are, but it's annoying.
You start your Wordle with the same word every day.
Same 2. And it happened that last night, the new one for today, had all 5 letters just randomly, so I got it.
Wow, nice.
I don't want to give my words. I don't want to. You know, it is funny to look at different people's strategies of Wordle. This is not to say that anyone.
I've just adopted my second word that I use. I had my first word is raise, because you get rid of the A, I, and E, and then you go and you have an S and an R in it, so you go from there. Raise is a good first word.
For you.
For me.
How many days have you been doing Wordle? I didn't know you were doing Wordle.
You got me into it.
Okay.
I hate that. I mean, that's like vinegar coming out of my mouth. But you did. You got me going. You got me going.
I know I get you going. Okay, I listen.
And T.O. Albatroni got me going.
I've had enough. I've had enough of the one. And she
okay.
The other problem, and I don't think you'll disagree about Stormy Cat Lady, is that she has no speed.
No, zero.
And there's not much speed in here. That's why I took an irresistible gal. I'm hoping coming off the layoff, twitching, and I'll actually be on the air, I think, with Rick Schosberg during this race. So I can really make fun of him if this horse wins or the trainer switched from him to Ray
Just
Handel.
a quick reminder, my friend Mike Matnansky will be at Mohegan Sun for the Kentucky Derby again. We're going to have an Ira Betts party up at Mohegan Sun this year for Kentucky Derby.
I was just going to ask you if you and Mike were going to be there.
Me and Mike will be
just
up there.
about to say that.
Mike was.
I may be having a party at Churchill Downs, but I'm not sure.
You'll be proud of this. Mike is teaching his son how to read the racing form.
Okay.
And he wanted to know why this horse is not in for the tag. Irresistible Girl in for the waiver today, so she's not in for the tag. She ran for 16 last time. She's been on 6+ months, so she is not in for the tag.
I was pretty impressed by you worked those stories in together with the story that his kids. You know what? I may get a little emotional actually. It's kind of a.
We need the next generation, Andy. You know we do.
We need something.
And they're watching today, so they're watching every day.
All right. Well, she does have back races. They're good enough to win this, and she's going to be, like you like to say, in front of these.
Certainly.
I'm mostly 5 and 6 in this race. A little Bella Dominica. I want to get my man Louis Cardenas a win.
It would be nice.
You know.
I'm going to really cop out here and use the 4 of them because I really don't have a strong opinion. I just wanted the biggest prize.
Should we take a break?
I would like that.
Can we make fun of Lee when we come out of the break?
He's not coming today.
I don't blame him. We'll be right back.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, the late pick 4. And we will show Sound Money. First of all, we're going to show the start of Sound Money's last race in case you needed even more reason to like him. And at the end of the day, if Sound Money runs back to his last race, he basically can't lose this race.
Talk about liking speed, huh?
He's a speed, and he got left here. And by the way, watching it, nobody did anything to him. He did it to himself. Now you're in a 5-horse field, a little different scenario. This was a fast pace. He rushed up into it. The rail was good. I mean, this horse ran super in here.
he has gotten to the point, right? Because this was not a horse that you would have ever. I don't think when you watch this horse's first handful
Well,
of
we
starts.
thought in his first start that he had potential because the gate didn't open for him, and he didn't run that badly.
Right, what I'm saying
but
is,
then he was a disaster.
his first handful of starts. You ever think this horse is going to?
No.
Going to, regularly be in front of fields
He
and
turned his
have
career
the
around,
speed.
too.
The blinkers really seem to have sharpened this horse up. I don't think there's. I
Got
think
better
experience
even,
and
a lot better third start with blinkers.
yeah. But he's really turned it around with the blinkers, and boy, he's faster than these horses. That's it.
We don't need deputy flag yet, but we're getting to.
We'll get the W flag.
That
in a
was
little
just
bit.
that was a tease to keep you watching because we don't want you to. I mean, Secret.
Does he have to deal with Sibelius?
No, Secret Rules is going to lead. Secret Rules is fast.
I would imagine. Yes, but Jose Gomez from the rail, he's very
Rules
fast.
is fast.
Yes.
Sibelius not that fast. Sibelius not slow, but we'll copy about
Apparently,
Bastick.
it's Sibelius.
Sibelius.
Yes, it's an old Johnny I was telling me this morning. This is a music reference to a historical music reference. Sibelius.
Well, it can't be rock and roll if Johnny I knows it. It's gonna be like Frank Sinatra or something.
Johnny I was over for dinner for my birthday.
Was he really?
He was. We had a little bean on. We had a little Frank
Did
on.
he announce the birthday?
He did not. No, he ate. He ate. He ate good.
He's a great man, Johnny
He's
Brielle.
one
I
of the
mean, Captain
greatest
Man
of all time.
Bastick's not slow. I just think sound. And by the way, if you're thinking you're getting 2-1 in sound money, you've been drinking.
Was that rocking with you? Got another thing
It's going
coming.
to be 3-5 or 4-5 in here, right?
He's gotta
Especially
be-
the way this
he's gotta
bar.
be
I
prohibitive.
mean, for Dr. Ardito, I mean, I'll put it this way: Dr. Ardito wanted you to stay 3-5, and he ran very well. I even texted Chad Brown. I said, "Don't you think Dr. Ardito's a little overbet here?" He said, "I agree with you."
Galloped.
Not that he didn't think he was going to run well. He just said.
Horse in the last race
Price is
ran
3-5.
giant too.
Horse in the last race ran very,
Ran
very
giant.
well.
That was a
Very
giant race. What do you guess? So he got a 96 as well, right?
They said 95, but I think there's something wrong with that because it was just a
It was
nose.
right there.
Yeah, it was a nose. Race number 7. We will start out as promised.
You're not going to guess what replay we're going to show you guys.
We're going to
right
show
now.
you Deputy Flag before I make fun of Anthony's selection. I love that Anthony picks these horses that I picked when they won, that he hated, and then he picks them when they can't win. That's one of my favorite things. You know, I'm a little worried this horse is just going to go to the front and wire the field. I'm not in love with this horse, and he's not reliable, but he is the controlling speed.
Yeah,
He's quick.
yeah, he is.
You're not worried about him?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to use the 3 of them.
Who's your third besides the one that can't win?
The 8.
Well, we got to use Wade Potts trainer change. Even I won't leave that one out.
3, 8, 1.
I mean, an idiot would leave that horse out. I'm worried about him wide in the field. Not his biggest fan. He's not that reliable, but he's quick and he's going. Okay, you missed the boat on High Command last time. Why are you picking him today?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that if Deputy Flag comes back to them, which doesn't have to happen, I think the two they'll be in closest proximity.
Or
at least High Command-
Macho Boy,
Well, High Command will
Dream
be
Bigger,
in close enough
and
proximity.
not a trick.
Yeah, I think Jackie will be aggressive enough, and I
not a
know
very
this horse
fast
came out of a
horse.
slow race. I get it. I get it.
Okay, I think he was
I
the
just
last
I didn't want to take Deputy Flag, and I wanted a little bit of a price alternative.
Okay, good luck. I think Taylor Miss not impossible because I think with Deputy Flag not being reliable, I won't be shocked if he. I mean, you like Taylor Miss
I liked
last
him
time in
last
the field,
time.
he couldn't win,
Yeah.
and you don't have the top 4 in this race. And you're better than that.
He didn't run well last time, man.
Well, he had no chance last time. Not only did he not run well, he didn't have any chance. By the way, does not running well in one race the next really have a big impact on Randy
but you know,
Persaud?
he's one of these.
I mean,
So
what?
I mean, but they pop up, they run 2,
I'm
3 days in a
saying,
row,
I'm
and then they
saying.
just disappear again. So
But you have to admit, he's run pretty well for a while for Randy, in
yeah,
general.
yes.
He was just over his head last time. That was just a silly spot. He was probably helping them make a race go. I'm going to take Dream Bigger off the Jeffrey Englehart claim. We'll take a look at him getting lucky to win 3 races back, and no doubt, I picked him and bet him this day, and he was lucky. But he also ran against a much, much tougher field of 10s last time, and I'm going to go for the trainer change with Jeff Englehart, who's been having a very good winter with his claims.
And that's a good run. Yeah, he's on.
Though
a
he's
good run
cold,
with
he's
plans.
cooled off. I mean, he couldn't go.
You can't keep going at the rate he was going.
You can't go at
No, it's
100%
impossible.
forever. It's hard to go at 100% no matter who you are. I mean, I think you also have to use Banyan Breeze. I'm not going to not use a horse that's switching to Wayne Potts. I just think it's dumb. I mean, I'll give you some stats. Wayne Potts got good numbers overall, making trainer switches on the dirt. Why would you not use him?
No.
I mean, I wonder where they're coming from, but I'm not going to let this horse beat me. I'm not going to get blown out of the Big Five and say I didn't use the horse that was switching to Wayne Potts. Be moronic on my part.
Right.
Not that I don't do my share of moronic
Oh, I was
things.
going to say, we do enough stupid things.
Right, but I'm not leaving that guy.
That's not one.
I could use any of the 1, 4, 5, and 8 there, to be honest with you.
I'm going to use 1, 3, 5, and 8.
And now that I see you've left the 4 out, after you bet him last time, because I can know how much I can abuse you. You're going to use them. See, now you're going to use them.
I won't use them.
You're going to. No, you're a stubborn guy, but you're going to use them because I'm going to text you after the races. I'm going to say, "You idiot! I hope you used them." And you're going to say, "I used them."
No, I didn't use them.
You used them. You're going to use them. I know you are.
No, and even if I use
How
them,
much should
if I use them, I'm not telling you.
How much should I needle Rick Schosberg when I'm doing race 5 with him?
I'll leave him alone. Rick's
I
he
love
knows
Rick.
about great guys.
I love
He's
Rick.
a great
The greatest.
man.
I'm looking forward to
What he
being on
does
with him.
off the racetrack's amazing. What he does on the racetrack and off the racetrack's amazing.
We haven't been on together. We had fun. We were on when we did those marathon shows closing weekend of that extra week at Belmont, a Breeders' Cup weekend. He and I spent a lot of time together. It was fun. Good. All right, race number 8. Well, I will say I changed my picks in race number 8.
Okay.
Well, when Spice, the main race, came out, Spice, the main race, First Constitution, and I know we'll take a look at his last race. I know he rode a gold rail last time, but he's completely loose now.
He is.
The reason to try to play against him was that he wasn't going to make the lead. I'll put it this way. Are you sure you would have picked Untreated if this was the foursome that had been in the race when they first drew it?
So I'm stubborn, so I'm going to say yes because I think Untreated's the better horse.
By the way, no. By the way, I don't disagree with you. I think Untreated may be the better horse.
And I'll say this.
I'm not convinced.
I wouldn't say I'm convinced. I'm probably more pig-headed about it than you are.
But the problem is that now he's tactically compromised, and the other horses helped.
No, I have no issues with that argument. This is what I will say.
Even you're not that crazy.
He was helped by that bias last time.
Of course he was.
So now, if my belief is the other horse is a better horse, yes, he has the tactical edge, and more often than not, I'm going to side with that. I think I don't think, Andy.
We know that.
We don't see, I don't know if you know this, Andy, but we don't see guys open up big leads here with speed horses.
No, but
does Untreated really have to be that far behind this horse?
Let me say something else. I still think the First Constitution's pretty good.
And that's all well and good.
I don't think he's a complete phony that's dressed up by a gold rail. I think he's actually okay.
My question to you is this. Do you think Kendrick's going to open 3 on Untreated? Because he should, but he won't. Because that's just not what happens around here. So, and Trevor's certainly not going to let him out of his sights. It's an interesting race because you have 2 of the more aggressive guys in the room.
He's a lot faster than Trevor, than the 2. That's the problem. We'll look at Untreated winning. And the thing that's interesting, I think, about these 2 horses, one of the reasons, and believe me, if the one was in the race, like you, I loved Untreated. Don't get me wrong. When Untreated won this race at Aqueduct, lesser competition or not, he was against the bias.
The only horse that made up any ground.
This horse closed into an on-pace.
Pioneer Spirit holds second
Forgetting about a better field last time, he was also 4 wide around the track in his last race, trying to close into absolutely no pace whatsoever. I don't have a problem with him. I'm not. Believe
I gotcha.
me, I'm not. I just felt with the scratch, it just gave First Constitution a bigger edge.
He has the win at the mile and eighth as well.
I wouldn't play and not use 2s and 3s here because I don't disagree with you, but I just feel like the scratch is going to really help the 3.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like Forewarned, we'll take a look at him winning the Queen's County. I love the Queen's County. Maybe it's because Personal Flag won the Queen's County. I love Personal Flag. He was always sort of overshadowed by Personal Ensign, his sister, and he was such a good horse. Because Femme Gendarme won the race prior to him winning the Queen's County at $60 and change, and I made a score, so I always remember it well. I have a funny story. Let's tell in a second. I like this horse, Forewarned, but first of all, that 102 fig last time does not hold up to scrutiny. And second, and it was a fast race. I mean, time for it fast too. I just think it doesn't make sense. He's just not going to get any pace to run out here. I mean, if the only way you could like him here's how you could like him.
Last 2 times he ran well, everything fell apart.
But here's how you could like him. You think the 3's a phony because of a drop, not that we agree, and you're not a fan of Untreated. But I think Untreated's better.
It's hard to imagine one of those 2 horses. To the point where when I was putting up the cross-country pick 5 ticket, it's not an expensive. I think it's a $48 ticket today. With Splice, the main brace, in the field, it was a $24 ticket.
What is Splice, the main brace?
I have
no
idea.
That? I don't know.
Splice, the main.
So,
do you?
Femme Gendarme, I bet on.
Do you know Splice, the main brace?
No.
Oh.
And it was Thanksgiving Day. It's when we used to run the Queen's County Thanksgiving Day.
Of course.
And I lived in Brooklyn on Sackett Street. And they had that great, some people may remember the OTB on the corner of Sackett and Court. It was a tremendous OTB. It's where I met Steve Diaz, actually, when I was younger. Still plays contests, and I see Steve sometimes. Good guy, really good guy.
Oh, I see that name on the leaderboard.
Oh yeah, Steve, he's a good guy. Yeah, I met him there when I first moved to Brooklyn. It was when I was young and had a little bit of hair. And anyway,
You got a little hair working right now.
I bet Femme Gendarme very well. I need a haircut.
I got
more hair in the back of my head.
I got the razor
than
in the car.
So I had to go to my sister's she lives in Westchester at the time, to go for Thanksgiving. And they used to start earlier, and I was going to get the train to go there, and I was walking down the street, and I stopped in the OTB, and I said, it was, of course, crowded, and they didn't show the races back then. We didn't have cable in Brooklyn back in the 80s.
Great.
And I said, who won that race? And the guy said, like, the H or whatever there was. And I went, that's Femme Gendarme, whoever it was.
Fantastic.
And I said, what price was that horse? And the guy goes, she was a big price. She was like 35 to 1 or something.
The H.
Yeah.
Remember those days? For those of you who don't remember those, we have a couple of them. Those of you who don't remember those days, we used to, and I was 7, but we would cram into these 1,200 square foot rooms and just wait for somebody to put up BCK.
Well, they didn't show the races. John Street OTB, as some know, in the 90s or the 80s when I first moved to New York, was the first place to show the races, in late '84, early '85. But yeah, I mean those OTBs.
And we had the blackout rule around here, so there were 2 OTBs. There was one on Lefferts, there was one on Liberty Avenue and 118th Street, and there was one on the corner of Cross Bay and Liberty. We were in the 5-mile range, so that at Aqueduct we couldn't see the races, but then when they went to Belmont and Saratoga, we could, and it was.
They showed them upstate early because they tore down that Mechanicville. That Mechanicville had. There were 2 OTBs close. They were both about 15 miles away from Saratoga, Mechanicville and Glens Falls. Mechanical was the old. It was the clubhouse and the golf course. It was great, and they showed the races there. Yeah, it was great scenes.
It was a scene.
They were some of those OTBs around the city. Well, 72nd on my block was a legendary OTB.
Oh yeah,
I lived up.
That place was great. There was one right above the George Washington Bridge. Literally, you took 8 steps west and you were in Jersey. It was the closest to the Jersey border. They used to run a bus from Fort Lee to the OTB. Literally, I've seen hundreds of people.
They used to have the OTB windows on the train, the bays, right in the middle of Grand Central. You know, if you go to Grand Central now, and some will remember that. When I was taking the train from Saratoga as a kid, I used to again to Grand Central. My grandmother picked me up, and we'd stop at the OTB, and they had a little cage. Anyway, we're reminiscing about OTB and letters. Race number 9.
Now you just go on your Naira Bets account. You have your own OTB traveling.
Race number 9. There is a horse in Ria's Angel, the 7. I mean, if she runs back, she's just been facing a zillion times better horse. We're not showing the replay of her first race. We recommend you watch it. I know it was slop, but I don't think she ran any worse in the race. She just ran against better horses.
Second race, no.
I mean, she broke like 2 lengths slow in that race, and she ran a huge race to catch up. The inside speed was good that day. She was 2, 3, 4 wide of her. She runs back to her debut. This field, their heads will be spinning.
I'm not going to speak for you, but.
She's very tough to beat on
7s
paper.
and 9s would be getting past 7s and 9s.
You're just hoping.
Yeah.
I'll use the 9 too because
Ship
it's
Shational, fresh gelding, fresh Lasix.
I know, but
sorry to hear the news about Ship Shational too. By the way,
well, he's out.
Yeah,
but
sorry to hear that.
He's out for the summer, I thought.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you'd like to see Eddie get I'd like to see Eddie rattle some cages down at Louisville.
Always. People think Barclay Tagg could have misbehaved down there. They got nothing when Eddie Barker got down there. The one thing that bothers me with Mischief Mogul is. First got bet first time, is into Mischief, and is coming back 8 months later for a tag.
There's a handful of red flags.
There
no
are
question
people
about
waiting to claim into Mischiefs. So I'm gonna that bothers me. But obviously I'll use the horse as well. I mean Vincent, I don't know what happened last time. Got engaged in the pace, but the horse did run well first time.
This horse was also announced as a gelding the last day of August, so I would assume this horse was entered, and now we haven't seen him since that debut.
That's interesting. Interesting.
So there you go.
Wow.
Thought about that.
That was pretty good.
I almost put him on top, but I was like, you know what? The other horse might be a better price, and if he goes back to
I don't
Ria's
know,
Angel
man.
runs back to
it's
the maiden.
close. He's got the money. I'm not saying he won't be, but boy, the 7.
Sometimes they just can't resist Todd.
They can't resist him. Why not? Does win a lot of races. Mo Donegal. Mo Donegal's got a real chance to win the Wood.
Glad to see him coming back. I mean, it makes sense,
I
right?
like Mo Donegal. I think he's a good
That's where
horse.
he had his biggest win. You come back here.
I thought he ran fine in the Holy Bull. I just think there was the wrong race and the wrong track.
That place isn't for him. Yeah, that place just isn't for him. I thought it was a weird move to
You
run
know
him
what?
there.
I respect that about him. It's not for me either. Breaks my heart when I go there.
I was in
Speaking
the
of
theater. I wasn't
reminiscing.
at the. The consensus is I would have loved the original Gulfstream Park.
Oh yeah, the old Gulfstream was.
I never made it down there.
The old Gulfstream was the greatest. Good news, we're 34 minutes out of our first. There are 14 minutes in their fourth at Gulfstream, though, and I'm actually not kidding about that. Anyhow,
That's truth. Fact.
We're done.
Hashtag fact.
Once again, Anthony has mentioned, you can find selections for racetracks all around the country, all around the world, all around the galaxy. Well, I heard there's life on Jupiter, so maybe you start making some picks there as well. Yeah, deep in the sea. Think they have cable? Anyhow,
They got OTBs?
they could. Like the old days when they didn't show the races and the guys, there was a photo. They give the call. There's a photo. They always knew who won.
Really quick, when they first gave the calls, you would see grown men walk closer and try and stick their head up to the speaker like it was actively going down for the lead.
How about doing a lead to the call? Anyhow, head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, what are you waiting for?
I don't. That's what Louis wants to know.
He wants to know. He's pointing. He's saying,
Come
what are
on.
you waiting for? Sign up. We'll match with $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code STAKES200. Head over to nairabets.com. Also, $25 bonus. You bet 75 or more at Aqueduct, Oakland, and Gulfstream. Opt in. Also, bankroll builder, 50 or more on the Florida Derby. You will get $25 back. Kentucky Derby weekend. Opt in at Naira Bets to participate in that as well. We've also got the Cross Country Big Five. 4 stakes at Oakland. Around the Excelsior here, 319 to about 750, 745, somewhere in there. 740, 730. I don't know when that gets going. We also have a Pick 6 carryover. $9,862. Starts in race 4. And last, but certainly not least, a whole smorgasbord of racing from 1:30 to 4 on FS2 and 4 to 8:30 on FS1. I'll be starting out with Rick Schosberg. You will join Greg at around 3:30ish, and then you will be with Greg until 6. I will be rejoining Greg, and we got the crew down at Oakland, Maggie and Lafitte and Maggie.
John Atfield, assistant to Kelly Breen, checking in. Spliced him in, brace is a sailing term.
You know, I always thought he was a sailor. I
Very
always thought
worldly
he had
man.
a big.
From a sailing term now to he will be joining me in the living room for WrestleMania tonight.
You know, it's funny.
How much you get on that double? John
I saw
Atfield and the Big
something-
A for a little WrestleMania
I was watching
tonight.
something, well, the Nets game. I was in the Nets game. They had some contest. They were giving away tickets to WrestleMania. And I thought, you know, if I won those, I would give them to my friend Anthony.
John and I went to Survivor Series.
I immediately, I just want you to know, in my mind, I thought of
appreciate
you
that.
instantly.
John took me to the Barclays. Thanks to
They were
our-
only asking women to do it.
Thanks
so
to our old
like,
friend
it was an easy
Ferenze
one for me.
Fire. We went to see Survivor Series in November. Had a blast.
There you have it. I mean, if you haven't gotten enough information from this
You
show
got it all today.
what is wrong with you? We're done. Johnny I is up next, the reprise, the Scratch and Changes. Have a great day.
Good luck, everyone.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Aqueduct. A sunny day here at the Big A with the temperature around 50 degrees. Main track is fast, and we have a pick six carryover of nearly $40,000. There are no changes in today's first race. Second race, note the number 3, Mr. Winston, will run with a cheek piece off. Third race, scratch the 3, Voice of Spring. Race 3, scratch the 3, Voice of Spring. In the fourth race, which will start the pick six, scratch number 5, Cousin Christie. Scratch 5, Cousin Christie, out of the fourth. No changes in race 5. In the sixth race, scratch number 2, Little Menace. Scratch the 2, Little Menace. No changes in the seventh. The eighth race, the Excelsior Stakes. Scratch number 1, Splice the Main Brace. Scratch the 1, and please note there'll be no show, trifecta, or superfecta wagering on race 8. In today's ninth race, number 2, Vincent, will wear a hood. Number 8 is now 2 pounds over, and the 9 is 1 pound over. Main track fast, pick six carryover, almost $40,000. The Saturday opener at the Big A in 27 minutes at 120.
How does horse racing support New York's economy? It's responsible for 19,000 jobs and more than $3 billion in annual statewide economic impact. These good-paying jobs support working families across the state and sustain thousands of small businesses both on and off the track. Horse racing in New York means jobs and opportunities now and in the future. We are New York horse racing.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
The horses are entering the track for today's first race. It'll be run at 1 mile. There's exacta, trifecta, superfecta, double, pick 3, and pick 5 wagering. The main track is fast, with 6 minutes to post. 1 minute to post. 1 minute. Horses are approaching the starting gate. Waiting for Burgee and Principe Dodo. There in the gate. And they're off. Principe Dodo from the outside is out for the early lead with a Strapped racing in second, then Montauk Point next in third. Nobody Rides for Free was off a step slow, is now moving up down at the rail. Burgee is the trailer in fifth. They cross over now from the chute to the main track, and it is Principe Dodo who leads here by a length and a quarter. Strapped on the outside of Montauk Point. Those two are right together, second and third. Nobody Rides for Free. And Burgee, the quarter, 23 and 3/5 seconds. Principe Dodo leads here by 3/4 of a length. And then it is the favorite, Montauk Point, second by a neck. On the outside is Strapped next in third. Then a little more than a length to the two trailers, Burgee and a Nobody Rides for Free. Principe Dodo ran the opening half in 47 1/5 seconds, and it is Principe Dodo who leads here by a little more than a length. Montauk Point in second by a length, with Strapped in third, followed by Burgee, and farther back, Nobody Rides for Free. It is Principe Dodo who will take the field to the top of the stretch. Montauk Point is being asked for more here. Principe Dodo is maintaining the lead, now extending the lead. Principe Dodo's in front by 3 lengths. Montauk Point runs in second. Strapped is out in the middle of the track, now with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Principe Dodo looking to go wire to wire here. Principe Dodo in front with the 16th to the finish, and it will be a front-running score to a breaker's maiden for Principe Dodo. Won it under Kendrick Carmouche by almost 4. Montauk Point was second. Strapped finished third. Number 5, Principe Dodo was first. Number 2, Montauk Point second. Number 3, Strapped finished third. Number 4, Burgee was fourth. The results unofficial. 5, 2, 3, and 4. And the mile was run in 1 minute, 37 seconds. Entering the winner's circle is number 5, Principe Dodo, a 3-year-old dark bear brown colt by Medaglia d'Oro, out of Dame Dorothy by Bernardini. Principe Dodo was owned by Juddmont, Winchell Thoroughbreds, and Bridlewood Farm. Trained by Todd Pletcher and the rider Kendrick Carmouche. Principe Dodo was bred in Kentucky by Bobby Flay Thoroughbreds. It's official. First race exacta pays $5.40. The